Hello, I'm Olga from Minerva. Today's video is all about community inspiration, and specifically we're going to talk about all things pinafores. It's very popular and there's all sorts of different kinds of pinafores too. So we're going to have a look at a few different patterns and a few different fabrics so that you can have some ideas. And I'm going to be mostly talking about what you've done and what you have posted to our website as inspiration for this video. So I have selected about 10 posts that I think fit this theme, so I'm really excited to get into this. The first post that I'm going to be discussing with you today is from the Teacup Mouse. They've made a really adorable version of the Quickstow 4138 pattern. Pattern includes both trouser and skirt options, and what the Teacup Mouse did was that they added a different skirt to the bibs. They added a really cute ruffle to the skirt, and also they have some fabric covered buttons, which I think is such a cool idea. And I have linked both the pattern and the fabric that they used here. They used this beautiful navy gingham. I think the smaller gingham really makes it more kind of wearable because it doesn't look like a pattern from afar. So if you look from the pictures that they have here where they're further away, it looks like just a navy dress, a navy pinafore dress. And when you look closer, then you see the gingham, and then it adds an extra layer of detail, an extra like interest, point of interest. So I think that's a really cool idea. So I think they found that they had to make a few adjustments for their size. I haven't worked with this pattern myself, but what I've seen so far is that it runs a little bit big. So make sure you measure yourself and you find out in their pattern sheet what sizes they do, because they do sizes differently from the other pattern makers who are used to work with, who go with the 36, 38 kind of sizing, and Quickstow uses a small, medium, large sizing chart. So it's a little bit different, and it might take a first try to figure out if the size is right for you, if you have to make any alterations. And then it really depends on your own body shape. So if you're taller or if you're shorter, or you might have to make some adjustments, but I think that is true for any kind of pattern. So I think making your own clothes is the cool thing about that, where you have the freedom to make these alterations and make it your own. Then next up, it's the same pattern. So we're still on Quickstow 4138. But this person, Gabardashery, great name. They have made View B with the trouser leg version, and I think that it is also a very cool look. It's completely different, even though it's the same pattern, but the trouser version looks like you're frolicking in a garden or in a cottage, and the skirt version is more like you're going for a picnic with your friend. They also use a gingham pattern fabric, but they use a completely different size gingham, which makes the look completely different. So here they've used I think a 1-inch gingham in black and white. They have also added red buttons to give it a little pop of color, which I think is also a cool idea, one way to make it your own. Again, they had problems with the sizing. It's the same thing, it's the same pattern, but a totally different vibe. It has like a more relaxed kind of fit. Everyone writes really interesting posts about how they made it and the troubles that they had, or the successes and the things that they did to alter. And I think that's such a cool addition to the community, because it helps you if you're looking through a pattern and you're not sure what to do, or kind of you're lacking ideas. Looking through, if you scroll down on the website, you'll see like everyone who's tagged that pattern or that fabric, and you can see like what they've used it for and how they changed it and how they made it their own, or what kind of alterations they made. And they oftentimes people will say their size. You can kind of like gauge if you have the same size, you'll have the same sort of problems. So that's really cool that we're adding all of this knowledge to the community so we can share it and we can all, save ourselves a little bit of time. Save each other a little bit of time. Still on the same pattern of Quickstow 4138, we have Rachel, who made the skirt with this beautiful bottle green fabric. This is so cute. I love that it's super simple. There's no busy pattern, but as Rachel mentioned in their description, in their kind of post, they said that they were looking for a plain skirt that they could layer with different things, that they could wear through different seasons, and that could be really versatile piece. And depending on what fabric you use, you can actually make something that can be used both in winter and summer. It depends also where you live. So this pattern asks for buttons for the bib. Rachel decided not to use buttons and instead used those kind of dungaree clips. Again, makes it their own. That's unique. I haven't seen anybody else use this pattern with dungaree clips. So I think that was really creative. So gorgeous, and I think you can tell by their look on their face that they're really happy with their work, and I think they should be. I believe this is our last version of the Quickstow 4138 pattern, and this is by So Sensational. What a clever name. They use this light denim fabric, which is really, really cute. It has this kind of versatility to it where it's plain and you can wear it with such a huge variety of different things, especially with denim, because denim just goes with everything. They used wooden buttons, which is so cool. I also really like wooden buttons. The other cool thing that people have mentioned about this pattern specifically is that it has a bit more versatility as to what kind of fabrics you can use. So you can use from lighter weight sort of denims and cotton twills to heavier cottons and even corduroys and things like that. Maybe like a lighter weight, like needle cord kind of situation. You can use a variety of weights, which I think is also why this pattern is so popular, because you can make it so many different variations of it, even though it's only 2 views, but you have all of this room to play with from fabric, colors, patterns, and also fabric weights. So that means that you can make both winter and summer outfits, and really cool thing to have like so many options within the same pattern. Next, we're going to be talking about a different pattern. So this is the other super popular, everyone's heard of this. It's the Cleo dress by Tilly and the Buttons. So a lot of people posted about this. I only chose a few because there were so many posts talking about this pattern. It was crazy. So the first one is again by the Teacup Mouse. We already saw a post by them, but this is more of a dungaree look. It has the dungaree clips. It has that kind of scooped back, but it is in this beautiful, really funky swan fabric. I think the fabric is by Art Gallery. They have some really cool fabrics actually. So that's worth taking a look. It seems to run true to size and that it is fairly easy. Everyone says that it's very well explained and that it's beginner friendly. For this skirt, they decided to forego the dungaree clips and instead went for buttons because they were having a hard time with the dungaree clips. I think it looks really cool. They added these like blue buttons that really contrast with the fabric, and it's a great idea. Next up we have rag bags and glad rags, I think. Okay, so they have made this post with the same Tilly and the Buttons Cleo dress. It's again with the dungarees. They went with the dungaree clips, so that's an example where they did run true to that. And they use this really cute needle cord fabric in a small print, so it's a small floral print, which is really cute. And again, it looks sort of from afar, it looks like a polka dotted kind of fabric, but it's actually flowers, so that's really cute. And they have their daughter styling it, which is also really cute. The first time they made it, they had some trouble with the sizing, but have then recently made more versions of this with different fabrics and have figured out the sizing for them. For the Cleo dress from Tilly and the Buttons, it seems that your fabric choice is quite important. So I've seen a lot of posts of people talking about how they were trying to use a lighter weight fabric and that didn't really work out because this pattern needs a structured, more heavier weight fabric. It needs medium to heavyweight denims, it needs like a needle cord, it needs things that are fabrics that have a little bit more weight to them so that they have a little bit more structure and that they can hold their shape better, I think. And then we have yet another Cleo dress. This one is one of my favorites. It's so cute. This is by Emma and Her Machine. They use this cotton needle cord, which has a really fine print. And again, it has that effect where if you look from far away, it looks like a plain color. But when you look up close, you can see the small details. And I think that's a really cool feature. They also added some embellishments to the pocket, which I think is a really cool idea. You could probably do embroidery or do some applique if that's what you're into. They also mentioned that the fabric that they used here is quite wide, so they could get away with using less fabric and actually had quite a lot left over. They mentioned that they've done a few versions of this dress and that this was their most successful one, again because of the type of fabric that they were using. It came out really cool. I love the color, I love the pattern, I love the fabric. It just one of my favorite versions of the Cleo dress that I've seen so far. Next we have Sew number 65, who has made a totally different pinafore from anything else that we've talked about. They're using Simplicity 8641. This is the only post that I have of this pattern. So they use this beautiful Indian cotton fabric. It has these like stripes and is made in India, which is really cool. And it has this really cool finish of looking kind of like you're going to the beach, and I don't know, it just has this really cool vibe. This has a bit more length to it, which I think is worth noting. The other ones we've seen so far have a bit more like knee length versions, and this is a little bit longer, which is cool. And it has this fun way to tie in the front, which we haven't seen in any other pattern so far. And it has a cool kind of cinching at the back because of the strings when you pull them together. The other cool thing about this pattern is that you have a few more different views than the ones we've seen so far. So you can have a few different versions of this dress. Obviously, it illustrates the amount of different things that you can do in the world of pinafores. So there's a lot of options. If you're not sold on the other two that we talked about so far, this might be another one for you. And then we have Gabriella Giustra. I hope I'm not butchering your name. I'm sorry if I am. And they've used the McCall 7626 pattern. It's also for pinafore. And this is another one that I think is very, very versatile because there's about 4 views, at least 4 views. Also, they have a trouser option. The thing that Gabriella did was use this viscose twill fabric that has really big squares. Other interesting thing about this pattern is that it's a little bit more fitted than the ones we've seen so far. So there's a bit more like, there's darts and there's a bit more like shaping, which is interesting. It might not be the thing for you, but if you're looking for something that's you could wear without layering, then this might be an option for you. Whereas the Cleo dress and some of the other pinafores we've seen so far, you can't really get away with wearing it without anything underneath. Whereas this one is more of a dress, and yes, you can layer it and it looks really cool layered, and you could even play around with the different views. They go through kind of their own body measurements and what sizes they recommend that you cut for that. And then this is the last one that I'm going to talk about today. And this is by Chiquitita Cosplay, and they have made, it's more of a like dungaree style. It's the McCall 7831. This is more similar to the Cleo dress, but again has a few different views and a more like a circle skirt version, and there has a few different versions. And they made it in this really cute donut print fabric. It's 100% cotton. It's obviously something that's quite out there and unique. You don't see that every day. But it's so cute. It's just so cute. And obviously they used some of their leftovers and offcuts to make some scrunchies and some face masks and stuff, which is really cool. Again, if you're into wearing full matching outfits, I really enjoyed this. It really made me smile, and I think it's so creative. Like, it's just so cool. Yeah, they don't mention any kind of sizing or fitting issues, and again, they said that this fabric was very easy to work with, and I believe this is kind of quilting cotton, like your basic quilting cotton. And I don't know why they call it quilting cotton, because it is so easy to work with and you can make so many things with it. I personally really like working with quilting cotton. So there you go. That's all I have to talk about today. I really had fun looking through the community posts and looking through all the things that you've made and looking through how you can take the same pattern and make it so different from each other, and the alterations that we make and the different things that we add. I just think that's so creative and so cool. And I really had fun looking through these and just being inspired by them. I'm going to leave everything linked below so that you can have a look and see if anything that caught your eye and anything you want to try. So that will be easy for you to find. And if you make any of these pinafores or use any of this fabric, please let us know. Tag us in the post, share it with us. As you can tell, we here at Minerva love looking through your work and what you do, because it just makes our day. If you have any questions or anything you want to say, please leave it in the comments below and we will get back to you as soon as we possibly can. and try to help as much as we can as well. If you haven't already, you can create an account on our website. It's free and it's super easy to do, and then you can post whatever you're making and whatever you're working on and share it with us. I hope you had fun looking through these posts with me. Now you're full of ideas and full of inspiration to go forth and make all the pinafores. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.